What an incredible day it has been, the penultimate day here at Jarama yesterday. The 2025 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is going to end after today. We do have a lot of more action to come this day. And of course, Jarama, the British driver, he held his nerve to take his first ever overall victory yesterday in the Goodyear FIA ETRC, keeping his chrome titles, hoping absolutely into the final day. And still, Bradley Smith is in the lead there with 4 points. And right now we are talking to a team member of the Titan driver. We're here with Tim Frost, Antonio Albacete. He's the local hero. And of course, he's currently ranked 6th with 181 points. And still, René Reinhardt with 188 points is absolutely close by. So Tim Frost is right now on his nerve-wracking situation. The final day here at the Goodyear FIA ETRC. Good to see you here.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to keep cool today, you know, trying to get the day over with. It was a long day yesterday, obviously, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the next race and qualifying next, obviously. So, yeah.
We're going to talk about that because the night was very, very short, because you needed to change the drive shift, and what also?
Yeah, so a component broke on the rear axle, which then when we were in the braking zone, we got a small hit from the back, and then the rear axle extended, and then the prop shaft separated. So we were quite lucky that we didn't do too much damage. We already had a small issue with the gearbox, which we were going to change anyway, but we were lucky it didn't do more damage. So I think we finished at around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and then we then did the basic service, what we need to do. So, and then it's that's life, you know. We've had such a horrendously bad luck year this year. We're just trying to keep our chins up and keep pushing and developing the truck for next year as well. This is the goal at the minute, and then hopefully we are on a better position for next year.
And I hope that we maybe can show you the clip of Antonio Albacete during the race. That was the problem he had there right now. What do you see from your perspective there?
So we just got the message that there was no drive, but there was not real. Obviously, Antonio can't see what's happened. We did actually get a message from KISS's engineer, Csaba, and Norbert actually radioed to Csaba, and then Csaba said to me that one of the components on the axle had dropped and was broken, but normally we can actually continue the race with this piece broken. It's not really a performance disadvantage, but with the hit in the braking zone, it just made things worse, you know. But it was nice that obviously Norby, we're not teammates anymore, but it's nice that he's thinking of us. And yeah, everybody has a good relationship in the paddock. We borrowed the prop shaft. We got a new prop shaft off Mark Taylor, so this was really nice. And then all the guys from Lion Racing, from Jochen, from Don't Touch, they all came around to make sure that if we needed help. But yeah, it's luckily we've been doing it long enough, so we're yeah, you know, without bad luck, you have no good luck. So.
But it is good luck to have such great colleagues then here in the paddock. It's one truck family, and thank you very much for the inside perspective, because with all the help from the other teams, that's really, really great to hear. You had a lot to celebrate also, because as I said, it's hometown race for Antonio Albacete, 30 years of motorsport. He is a legend here on the side, and this is why we're going to show you the clip right now, that he's been celebrating, lots of flowers, friends and family over there. What was that for a situation?
So I think it was obviously the circuit wanted to gift Antonio with an award, because obviously he's a local hero, and I think obviously he started with the Spanish touring cars, but most of his sort of senior career has been only with truck racing, and obviously as an ambassador for the circuit as well. I think it means a lot to the circuit to have him still here racing, and for me as well. He's an absolute legend. So I mean, he's talking about retirement, and for the last 2-3 years, I'm like, no, we need to do one more year. We need to do one more year. So I'm hoping that we can do 1 or 2 more years with Antonio, for sure, because now he's 60 years old. So he said at the beginning he wanted to stop at 60, but at quali, if we're still fighting, we're still going to race. So from this side, this is the only thing that's sort of keeping him. But we are testing with his son, Tony. We've done some tests at the start of the season. He did crash it, but we don't hold it against him. But no, it was only a small touch on the wall. But it's difficult as a team. Obviously, we only have the one truck to put a new driver in and to get to the position where we want. And this is why with Antonio it's really cool, because we know he's like really good and we can push, especially the top. Okay, we've had a bad year and we're still fighting for P5, but yeah, I mean, if we had a normal season, we could have easily been fighting with Steffi and Sasha for P3, but that's life, though. So.
Thank you very much, Tim. You need to go to qualifying right now. All the best to you, to the team. And sometimes he's screaming, Antonio from the back. Thanks for the great inside perspective. And yeah, of course, the fight is still on for P3 in between Steffi Halm and, of course, Sascha Lenz. He had a bad day yesterday. He had a DNF and this is situation. But Steffi Halm, she did very, very well at race number 2. But Lena van der Maas is outside there on the grid reporting for us, of course. Lena, hello. And what a great day. What a great start at the day.
And there we are in a row that has the smallest fan, the biggest fan, the oldest fans, and all of the fans. It's Chrome Class Street, so to say. And I think the most exciting one of this weekend, because they're still so close on points. A battle will be going on this lovely sunny Sunday. And yeah, look over there. Luke Garrett is just getting ready. We already saw Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor getting ready for qualifying. René Reinhardt is on his way. So it really feels like we are waking up for a race Sunday to come, and I really love the spirit over here in Jarama, because it's packed with people. They're already sitting outdoors, but there's umbrellas, like drinking coffee, waiting for the trucks to start driving. So it's lovely. I like it a lot. And yesterday has been quite a Saturday for the last race season of this weekend, the last race weekend of the season. See, I'm not really quite awake yet. So we have some highlights for you just to start out with before we're going over to qualifying.
Thank you very much, Lena. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to the final race day of the 2025 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and a quick look back at the racing from yesterday afternoon. We had a reverse grid with John Newell and Bradley Smith on the front row, 2 Chrome drivers hoping to continue a good points haul and get away from everybody behind. While everybody behind had dramas. We had Luke Garrett, Stefan Kirsch, Stefan Faas and Sascha Lenz all off the circuit in the opening laps. René Reinhardt had quite a bit of contact throughout the race as well. And then a pivotal moment from Antonio Albacete, where his truck, unfortunately the prop shaft having an issue and putting him on the sidelines at his home race. He's got a lot of work today to make up for that. Lucas Hahn was in a battle with Bradley Smith and Clemens Hecker in the Chrome class, while René Reinhardt tried to make his way through the order. A little bit of argy-bargy here and then between the 2 German drivers, but soon it would resolve itself. The dust was a talking point during yesterday's final race as well. It was a very, very dusty circuit by the afternoon, not helped by the little moment by Clemens Hecker, but in the Chrome class it was a very good fight all day, and even the Titans put on a fantastic show for us in the later stages of the race. We had Steffi Halm holding off Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kisch and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, while Sascha Lenz tried to make his way through from the back of the order, a technical failure putting him at the back of the grid for race number 2. All of this went on though while John Newell was at the very front of the pack. The Chrome driver was on his way to take his first ever race victory overall in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and he held his nerve from the very beginning until the very end and crossed the line with a jubilant team on the pit wall. Very pleased to take his first ever win. It was a great fight behind though, and a really good chase between Jochen Hahn and Steffi Halm, but ultimately they could not do enough to catch the number 18, and John became the latest first-time race winner in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It was a lovely, lovely day, great conditions, and we have a bit of the same today. As you can see, still quite a windy day, not massively though. It's never really that windy here at Jarama. There is no escape from the sunshine though. It absolutely beats down onto the circuit, and you can see the heat haze already rising here this morning. It's 11 o'clock local time. The green flag should wave any second now, and there it goes. Qualifying will get underway. We have all 18 trucks out onto the circuit this morning in qualifying 1. Qualifying 2 will then be a 10-minute session with the top 12 And then the top 6 go through into Q3, which will be just a 5-minute session. And it's rare that we see drivers get more than 1 lap in those sessions. And this obviously a very pivotal session when it comes to the Chrome class in particular. The Chrome drivers have had quite a split and topsy-turvy qualifying session every time we've been here. Some of them getting amongst the Titan drivers in the overall ranks, whereas others tend to struggle. Clemens Hecker had a very difficult day yesterday, going from the championship lead in Chrome down into 4th position, so he's going to hope for a much more simple day today. But that all starts with qualifying. Yesterday he qualified 14th on the grid, and in terms of the class positions, it's, well, at the moment he's only had 1 meeting all season where he wasn't on the podium, and so far obviously he hasn't been on the podium here at Jarama yet. Bradley Smith enters today, the championship leader in Chrome. You see him just there on your screens with John Newell behind him. There's only 4 points between those two coming into the last day of the season. They then have Mark Taylor another 7 points back. He's only 11 off the top spot though, and with 30 available today, things could certainly change. Clemens Hecker right now is 21 points off the top spot. He's got the most work to do if he wants to win that Chrome Championship today. It's going to be mighty interesting to see how it all pans out. But Bradley Smith, spoke to him this morning, had a quick chat with him and his dad Tony, and they were both feeling quietly confident. They were very chilled when I went to see them this morning, and they're going to be hoping for a very quiet and chilled day of racing, just to get the job done and have no major dramas. And just before qualifying gets underway, I want to reiterate how lovely it was to hear from Tim Frost at the beginning of the show. I spoke to him and his family this morning, and they wanted me to give a shout out to Denise Frost, who absolutely loves the broadcasts that we put on here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Apparently she's a big fan of mine. I have no idea why, but Denise, we hope you're enjoying the show and hope you're having a fantastic day. And let's hope for a better day for Antonio as well, and we know that she'll be supporting from home. Norbert Kish crosses the line then and gets qualifying underway to see now what he can manage. Will he get a full lockout this season of every pole position from qualifying? Jochen Hahn's 2nd place on circuit, Steffi Halm in 3rd, and we have an interesting fight in the points between Steffi and Sasha. It's not all just about the Chrome drivers today, let's not forget. There are 12 points between Steffi Halm and Sasha Lenz for 3rd in the championship, and then 7 points between René Reiner and Antonio Albacetti in 5th and 6th. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez isn't too far behind either. He's 19 points behind Albacetti, so it could be quite the fight towards the end of the season. There's Jochen Hahn, 2nd place in the championship again for him. He's managed to convert that position once more, and he has secured that until the very end of the championship. And as you can see, it is a beautifully clear day here just outside of Madrid. We're just north of Madrid here in Spain, and it is a delightful place to be as Jarama. It's a very old school circuit, but it's got so much charm and so much character. It's a very entertaining place to come racing. The layout of this place hasn't changed since 1990, showing just how effective it's been at making itself a more modernised and entertaining racing circuit. The drivers love the place. It's very abrasive on tyres. It's a very rough surface, but it's one of the additional challenges of this place is to have it so aggressive on these tyres. Here's Eduardo Rodriguez there, hoping for a good day as well today. He's got a lot of work to be doing to catch up with the other Titans in the class. He had a bit of a slower start to the season, did Jose Eduardo, but right now I know that he'll be happy to be in with a chance of at least gaining some positions on the final day. The first time's come through, and it's a 1:57.2 for Norbert Kish. His teammate René Reiner goes 2nd fastest. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is next up. We have Jochen Hahn in 4th place now. Antonio Albacete 5th. Sascha Lenz 6th. Steffi Halm takes 7th place. Then it's Hecker, Smith and Taylor. So at the moment, Clemens Hecker the fastest in chrome. But as I say that, Lucas Hahn displaces him. Lucas has been absolutely rapid once again this season. Every time that we've seen him in the chrome class, he's been absolutely dominant with his pace. And we wait now, excited to see who can put in an improvement lap time. So going down the whole 18 after their first laps, Norbert Kish, René Reinert, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, the top 3. Then it's Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, Sascha Lenz, Lucas Hahn, Steffi Halm, Clemens Hecker, Bradley Smith, Mark Taylor and Jonathan Andre. Those are the 12 drivers that are going through at the moment into Q2. Stefan Faas, John Newell, Luke Garrett, Simon Reed and Craig Reed, and then Stefan Kirsch are currently the drivers to be exiting the session if it carries on. There is René Reinert making his way round Portago, the long hairpin at the top of the track. It is a difficult circuit to get these trucks around. There's a massive variation in the types of corners they have here. They have a lot of early apex tight corners. They have very late apex hairpins as well. And corners like this here at the Bugatti S at the bottom of the hill, that's a very late apex corner. You can see they're all wide of the curb. They may not be at race pace right now, but they are very wide of the curb on the way in and then use all of the road on the way out. But then even at the top of the hill, they've got Portago, they've got the 2 right and then left-handers before it at Ascari as well. There's huge curbs on the inside of there. They have to be careful not to upset the truck too much before they get on the brakes, otherwise the weight and the balance will be all off and the truck will be all over the place. These trucks run a lot of brake bias onto the rear, and it really helps slow them down and keep the stability when they run it further forward at the front. But with the little weight over the rear that they've got here, it's easier to sort of snatch that rear axle and slow it down. John Newell, Stefan Faas, unsurprisingly, staying out to try and improve their lap times. The 2 of them at the moment are in 13th and 14th positions, and as a result, not scheduled to go through into Q2. John really needs to make it through to Q2 at least to try and force that battle to Bradley Smith in the chrome class. Stefan Faas continuing on in 13th at the moment. Good to see the Freightliner running at full chat today. He and the team have been so focused this weekend on just getting the truck in good running order to at least complete the 4 races. And they obviously hope to improve on this machine heading into 2026. It's a bigger picture sort of development, is this Freightliner. They made the switch after, well, I mean, since I've commentated on them, they've run Scanias in Tank Pool 24. And now they've made the change over to this custom-built Mercedes-powered Freightliner. It's a very high-tech and modernised engine, so they've had a lot of troubles with the fuel system on it. Obviously a fuel system that's more geared towards efficiency than just raw power output these days. There's Bradley Smith. Bradley at the moment 10th position. Still under threat though if any of the drivers behind improve, so he has to stay out on the circuit and try and put faster and faster times in. He may as well use the time to try and improve. But the strategy here is that by trying to continually improve, does it harm their chances when they go through into Q2? Because the tyres go off very quickly here at Jarama. John Newell out of the final corner now. Across the line he goes and he improves. 12th place for John Newell. Stefan Faas does not improve, so John Newell at the moment knocking Jonathan Andre out of the session. What about Bradley Smith? What can he muster? Is there an improvement there? He does improve by about 0.2 of a second. Opens himself up, and Jonathan Andre, well, he goes now back up into 12th place and displaces John Newell John does enough to get into Q2. And, well, unfortunately for John, that is going to be a bit of a hammer blow. He still has 4 minutes left to go, so he could take a slow cool-down lap now and then gear it up for a fast lap at the end of this session. Craig Reed is then ahead of Stefan Kirsch and then Simon Reed. But Jonathan Andre straight back into the top 12 to try and get himself through into Q2. As I was saying though, Bradley Smith has opened up the gap to the drivers behind. Mark Taylor is sat in the pits and he's currently in 11th place. He's only 0.03 of a second ahead of Jonathan Andre, but he's about 0.4 of a second ahead of John Newell, and this man Stefan Faas is about 0.8 back from Mark Taylor, so it would need to be quite a strong improvement by any of the drivers behind them to move up into the top 12. So maybe that's why Mark feels confident enough to sit in the pit lane for now. It could be quite the hammer blow. They need a good day today, do the Taylor's Truck Sports team. They didn't have the easiest day yesterday, and they are obviously on the back foot compared to Newell and Smith, but we know the pace of Mark and that number 81 machine. It's been very apparent that he's possibly the fastest driver out there consistently and is the one to beat, but the reliability is what's affected them. Same with Stefan Faas, it must be said. Back at the Slovakia ring earlier this season, Stefan was rapid, taking multiple class wins. He crosses the line, and it is not an improvement, unfortunately. His fastest time is actually a 1:59.7, and he's 2 minutes 4 on that last lap. So this may be the fast lap now, in fact. We're going to go into the pit lane and we're going to hear from the driver that's second in the Chrome class at the moment, Clemens Hecker.
Yeah, he had quite a day yesterday. He told me he had some issues with his tires, or like the setup of the car wasn't as planned. So today, obviously, they have done the homework and things seem to be running better. And he's watching out, of course, what Newell is doing and all the others in Chrome class. But it will still disturb him for a second and a half. Clemens, good day today. And John Newell doesn't seem to be as fast as you are. So did you change something on your track, or did you sleep some more, or what? Like, you're better today than yesterday.
No, we are in discussion with Goodyear because our tires are bad yesterday. They jump between 10 and 12 millimeters for new tires. First we think it was on the rims or on the wrong mountain, but so right now they sent the tires back to Luxembourg, but I think we lose the day about the tires yesterday.
That's really bad.
But you're still in class, like you still can fight for points and things can change today in the two races, so we still could see on the podium today, meaning in total in Chrome class.
Yeah, we hope, but we lose a whole day yesterday, and you know, so it's so close together. And we give our best today, and then we see you in the evening.
All right, so you stay calm, do your job, because he's a fast driver. And Bradley Smith also is around. Come on, let's have a quick chat with him as well, because he had quite a smooth ride right now, still defending his first position in the Chrome class. Of course, they're quickly discussing what's going on with the others. Smooth job, Bradley. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Loving the Spanish sun, so makes a change from England. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Yeah, hopefully we get through to Q2, and then yeah, see what we can do.
You know what also fits very well? Sunshine and golden trophies. How about that?
Yeah, we're going to give it our all. So last race weekend, so yeah, I'm going to push as hard as I can.
All right, so you go tell to your teammates. Of course, it's all about how to push, how long to push, and how fast to push, because we have 2 more rows in qualifying. So handing back to Chess for now. Let's see if we have found someone else to talk to.
Thank you, Lena. Fantastic to hear from 2 of our Chrome Championship protagonists there. They're going to both be very excited about today. In terms of the lap times, there's been no major improvements by anybody in there. It looks like Jonathan Andre is still on the same sort of time. The checkered flag will come out now as the timer hits 0. I'm just looking to see if anyone's done any major improvements, and that is not the case. We look there at Craig Reed as he makes his way out of the first few corners. His last lap was a 2:07.9, but his fastest is a 2-minute 0.6. Unsure if this will be another push lap from him. But at the moment, it looks like there's been no change in position since we went to interview. So Jonathan Andre holding on to 10th place. That'll be quite the hammer blow to John Newell to be the only one of the top 4 in Chrome to have not made it through into Q2, especially after taking his first win in the championship yesterday. And that definitely looks like a push lap, doesn't it, from Craig Reed? One of the 2 Reed brothers who are here with us this weekend. They raced with us at Le Mans as well and had a good time there. They had a very busy time there. And Craig powers out of the hairpin, but I'm not sure if that was full chat. That looks like he's backed out of the lap to me. It can be quite deceiving sometimes when you hear the revs, because obviously these trucks rev quite low. And that does look like he's backed out of this lap, unfortunately. I can hear trucks still crossing the line out of my window. But yeah, Craig has unfortunately backed out of that one. And he'll make his way back around and into the pit lane now that the session is complete. And I think that that is going to be all she wrote for Q1. Don't think John Newell is out there on another lap. We're going to quickly go back into the pit lane because Steffi Halm is with Lena.
Yes, I am. And there she is, Steffi. How are you feeling today? Good morning. It seems like Sasha also is back in a good shape, so it will be tight in between the two of you today, no?
I hope so. It will be tight. No, now we are focused on the qualifying. Hopefully we can gain a little bit in the lap time and to continue in Q3 and then fighting for the best 6 places in the grid. We will see what happens, but we will fight.
All right, thank you so much. They're already restarting the engines. The last ones are coming in, the first ones are going out again. So let's get out of Steffi's way so she can manage to have as many fast laps as possible. Okay, Jess, back to you.
Thank you, Lena. It looks like all the trucks are now coming into the pit lane, and that is going to be the end of that session. And we have Norbert Kish fastest from Rene Reiner, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacetti and Sasha Lenz. Then it's Lucas Hahn and Steffi Halm, Clemens Hecker, Bradley Smith, Mark Taylor and Jonathan Andre complete the 12 that go through. The drivers that will be eliminated are John Newell, Stefan Faas, Luke Garrett, Craig Reed, Stefan Kirsch and Simon Reed. Those guys have their positions locked in place. There are the marshals all prepared to go. It's fantastic to have so many officials and all the media as well. As you can see, the pink vests are the media around the circuit. There's photographers absolutely everywhere around here at Jarama. Some wonderful angles and pictures. And all the fans are lining the banks. It's usually a grass bank around the outside of the circuit there, but it's been so hot and so dry recently that it's basically just become a dust bank. It's incredible how much it's dried out here. It's very interesting whenever we come to Jarama. It seems to be almost a completely different environment every time with the weather from the preceding week. The officials there having a talk with Chava Bacco of Revace Racing. Session is due to start at 11:22 local time. That's when the green flag will wave at the end of the pit lane. That's just to give a definite amount of time for the trucks to get round. And as you can see, we have a fantastic turnout once again today. Just having a quick look at the championship standings. Sorry, I was trying to figure out my own maths for just a moment there, and it's still the case that John Newell has a lot more top fives than anybody else in class in Chrome. But as of yesterday, only Bradley Smith still has over 20 top fives. He's got 21 now, but John Newell with 27 top fives. And an incredible season from his standpoint. In the overall standings as well, they have just one top five apiece to Bradley Smith, Clemens Hecker, John Newell, and I believe Mark Taylor. Funnily enough, the only one of them that hasn't been on the podium overall this season is actually Bradley Smith, and he leads the Chrome Championship. So it's interesting how the difference between the overall standings and the Chrome standings work out. It's something that I've really enjoyed keeping an eye on this season. They're all the fans trying to get as good a viewpoint as they can. There's a lot of wonderful grandstands and, well, opportunistic sort of viewing spots around this circuit. That's one of the coolest things about the place. There's always a great place to watch from. There's a lot of people lining the top of the pit buildings up over the top of the Mercedes building as well, and where the Mercedes lounge and everything is. And the trucks get back out onto the track. And we will begin Q2 for the final time this season. And as mentioned, the trucks that we will have out on track will be as follows: Norbert Kish, Rene Reinert, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacetti, Sascha Lenz, Lucas Hahn, Steffi Halm, Clemens Hecker, Bradley Smith, Mark Taylor, and Jonathan Andre in the 66 machine that you see there, the gorgeous Lion Truck Racing machine, the neon yellow. You can hear all the air horns sounding around the circuit. Such great, great support for them all. A lot of it, of course, when Antonio Albacetti goes round the corner, but still, the fans absolutely love it here in Spain. They are bonkers for it. The car park at the top there, very, very full. And now the green flags wave in the very little wind that we have here today. You can see the plains and the hills in the background. It's a wonderful part of the world. It's very scenic. We've had some fantastic sunrises and sunsets over the past few days. Really is a beautiful place. But now Q2 gets underway and the trucks make their way around for the first out lap, and everybody takes it nice and easy, leaves a bit of space between one another. And right now, Norbert Kish is close to taking every pole position this season, I believe, with this one. If he wins the first race of the day, he will have won every race 1 and 3 this season. It really is his stomping ground to take pole position and then a win. He's still got the Anglais Moore sticker on the front of the truck, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And now everybody powers up and gets going out of the final corner and across the line. It's always cool to see Lucas Hahn and Steffi Halm's trucks together. They're two sort of teammate designs, the identical designs. Lovely shot there from the pit wall. I was stood there during the warm-up this morning, and it's an amazing place to be as they stream down the start-finish straight. And you can hear once again all of the air horns sounding out around the track. Clemens Hecker making his way through into the complex there, the left-hander at Le Mans, and then into the hairpin at Farina. Really tight and twisty part of the track. Very difficult to get right in these trucks. There's a lot of elevation change one way and then the other. There is Sasha Lenz. He had a difficult start to the day yesterday. Wants to take third place in the championship here this afternoon as runs a little bit deep. Gets back on the power and speeds it up on the exit. And back down the hill towards the S's de Bugatti. And just behind there, Lucas Hahn and then Steffi Halm. Down the hill into the hairpin. And back up the hill towards Monza. And the trucks now filter their way through one by one, and the first times come through on the board. It's a 1:56.8 by Norbert Kisch, a brilliant lap time indeed. René Reinert with a 1:57.5. Jochen Hahn goes slightly quicker, just under a tenth of a second. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next up. Sasha Lenz goes up to second place. Antonio Albacete can only manage sixth at the minute. Next up onto the timing sheets go Steffi Halm and Lucas Hahn. Clemens Hecker goes into ninth place, but 2.6 seconds off. He'll want to improve on that one. What about Bradley Smith? 2.7, give or take 2.8 seconds off. He will be focusing on being ahead of Clemens, and Mark Taylor goes up ahead. Jonathan Andre goes second fastest in the Chrome drivers, but look at that, 1.5 seconds between himself and Lucas Hahn for the fastest truck in Chrome. But the important ones in there are the drivers, obviously, that are looking for the title. And it is Clemens Hecker ahead of Mark Taylor and Bradley Smith. 10th, 11th and 12th, though, after that. You can see the water sort of trickling out of the front axle of the truck as it tries to actively cool the brakes. But when they're at a slower pace, obviously, the water just trickles out instead of being sprayed onto them and causing the steam. But now we wait to see if anybody else improves and goes for another push lap. I think Lucas Hahn will definitely try to. Sasha Lenz there just going slowly as he heads down the hill. And there, Norbert Kisch, once again fastest. Just 2 and a bit tenths of a second quicker than Sasha Lenz at the moment. And now we wait to see who comes into the pit lane and who continues on in this qualifying session. Norbert Kisch and René Reinert there in the 2 Reveish built machines. The latter is now named Bablu rather than Baloo Jr., I believe. Looks like a continue of pace for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez there, and Antonio Albacete as well. The two of them not satisfied with the third row of the grid. Also the two Ivecos behind of Lucas Hahn and Steffi Halm continuing on their way. Jochen Hahn into the pit lane. René Reinert also following Norbert Kisch into the pits. And with just 2 minutes left on the clock, we wait to see who can improve. Just highlighted on your screen there on the left-hand side, the top 6 qualifiers there, the drivers that will go through into Q3. The green area, of course, covering those current 6 that will make it through. We have 7 Titan drivers in the championship, though, so that makes it difficult because not all of them can make it through into Q3. And at the moment, Steffi Halm is the one of them that isn't going to be going through. Up over the crest of the hill then goes Antonio Albacete. and into Portago. You can hear them shift mid-corner, try to short shift and get the power down on the exit. It's not easy to do that in a machine like this. Using all of that power, of course, powered by 100% renewable HVO diesel, all of our race trucks. So it's all green, clean racing. There we go. We woke up Patrick. But you will see that graphic over the course of the weekend. It's not the only green graphic on the left-hand side, as you can see. We also have that wonderful graphic that pops up every now and then at the bottom. And I'm forced to make as witty a segue as possible. And I hope you all find it entertaining as I try and do so. Right then, across the line, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Does he improve on his lap time? No, he does not. It's a 1:57.8 this time round for him. Antonio Albacete also not improving. He was 0.3 of a second slower than his time before, and it's the same story for Steffi Halm. Lucas Hahn has improved, a 1:57.974, but he's still not able to move up a position, basically. Not able to clock in a good enough time. Hecker has improved, though. He goes up to 9th place, ahead of Jonathan Andre. He doesn't get himself into Q3, but he goes second fastest in the Chrome class. Sasha Lenz has been sat in the pit lane after a good lap time there. He's now with Lena.
Yeah, Sasha seems to like Jarama. You have quite a good pace on this racetrack. Yesterday you were not as lucky with your electricity. Obviously you found the mistake, you fixed it, and today you have quite a good start now.
Yeah, we have a good start. You know, the team made a really good job yesterday. Yesterday the second race was really difficult. So yeah, I make a small points, but was not enough. So today I give my best, and after the last race we see was enough or not enough.
I think you are in the position that is also as much as exciting as the Chrome class, because you don't know what's going on. You might become third, so there's a lot of fighting going on this weekend. So fingers are crossed for the third qualifying of this morning. And we have a lucky, not so lucky bird in the house as well, talking about John Newell. And Christina is waiting with John for a quick chat.
Yeah, Lena, after the first overall victory yesterday, we welcome John Newell, but we welcome you here in a state where we are thinking, oh no, he missed the qualifying number 2. What happened, John?
I couldn't switch the new tyre on. It was my own fault. I made a couple of mistakes on the first run and then tried to catch it back up, but once the tyre's hot, it's a struggle. But we should be good for the race. We'll be all right.
And also, the conditions are a bit better than yesterday, but still it is boiling outside. What does that mean for tyre management throughout the day?
If it's a little bit cooler today, the tyres will last a little bit longer. As yesterday, it was very, very hard to keep hold of the tyres after lap 5 or 6.
But you've been on fire yesterday, the overall victory. What does that mean to you?
It's unbelievable for me and the team, because we started the season with a truck that wouldn't work, and now it's working, and we've only had it for the last 2 meetings, and we've gone really, really well. So if we'd have had it from beginning of season, we'd have been flying.
We've been standing here watching the monitor. Bradley Smith only 4 points ahead, and of course 30 points to give today. And what does that mean? That he ended right now on P12. And can you explain what does the scenario is right now for the next race?
I was hoping for my sake that he finished P12, and then he's only 1 place in front of me on the grid, so I've got the opportunity to attack him and have a go at him and get in front and get some more points off him.
What is going to be important for you starting the race then?
At the start, turn 1, just make sure I get through turn 1 clean and then settle down and I'll pick my point.
Okay, we're going to watch that. Thank you very much, John Newell. All the best.
No problem. Thank you very much.
And back to you.
Thank you, Christina. Great to hear from John. A massive shame for him that he hasn't made it through into Q2 today. A very big contrast in terms of results, but we know John, he's a fighter, and he will continue to do his very best with the team to make up those positions in the race. There is Lucas Hahn heading into the paddock as our cameraman is ushered out of the way for more trucks to make their way in. The top 6 will now go back out on the circuit. That should be Norbert Kish, Sasha Lenz, Jochen Hahn, René Reinert, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Antonio Albacete. Antonio, the driver that all of these fans are here to see, let's face it. He really is a superstar around here, like Tim mentioned earlier. They absolutely love him here. And it's great to have that support, I'm sure. Everyone I've spoken to from Tim's team this weekend has said the same thing, that the support is just brilliant. And now Jonathan Andre there, making his way into the pit lane. Now you can see a bit of calm before the storm with the final part of qualifying about to begin. A slight breeze over the circuit now, but it's not going to change the weather anytime soon. It's not like when we go to the Nürburgring or go to Zolder, where the weather can change in the blink of an eye. Here in Madrid, you get to see the weather coming from miles off before anything changes. And even then, it's very rare that the weather is not absolutely boiling hot. I have actually had a race weekend here before with another championship when I've been commentating, and it has been, let me just say, not dry. It's been like a monsoon all weekend in the past. It's a very interesting circuit to go racing at for that, though. But as you can see, barely a breeze over the circuit right now, and I'm told that the pit lane has opened and the trucks will now head out onto the circuit, and there they go. And led by Norbert Kish, we have Sascha Lenz, Jochen Hahn, René Reinert, and then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Antonio Albacete. Just 5 minutes in this session, so we will see a slightly increased pace on the outlap and their sort of initial lap to try and get the truck in a good operating window. And then they will push to get a fast time on the board, and they will hope to get around so they can at least get 2 laps in a row if they really need to. You can hear the Spanish announcer as well, keeping everybody hyped up in the arena. And the air horns sound once again as they make their way around here. There's always a great scene at the end of the championship with a lot of the drivers doing drifts and burnouts and all sorts in that area. You can see all of the black marks on the circuit where the rubber has been laid down. Now the drivers are just getting up to the top end of the circuit, up towards Portago. Long hairpin just as they get out of Ascari. Then they make the run back down the hill towards the Bugatti S's. Very difficult section of the circuit. The brakes really having to work hard. Jochen Hahn there in 3rd place, just ahead of René Reinert and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Antonio Albacete hoping for a much better day today than he had yesterday. He had a bit of a difficult first race, struggled to make any ground, and then obviously the drive shaft issue in the second race put him on the sidelines just as he came out of the hairpin there. Gradually building up to pace, and as they head out of the final corner, we once again see that Norbert Kish has got a truck quite close to the back of him here. Jochen Hahn has shown us a few times this season that he sits quite close to the truck in front and doesn't really leave a huge amount of space. It's almost like he's putting them under pressure. Everybody pushing as late as they dare on the brakes there. I was just waiting to hear if there was a little noise from René Reinert's machine. He's been late on the brakes there all weekend. Runs a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, but I don't think that'll incur the wrath of track limits. There's been no penalty marker warnings all qualifying, actually. Everybody's been doing really, really well. Last year we had an award, actually, during the award ceremony, where one of the drivers got given a penalty marker for hitting the most penalty markers all year. There was somebody keeping track of it. And the award was given to Stefan Faas. Apparently, he earned that in the final race of the season as well, which is very, very funny. But it's another little nugget of just how fun the behind-the-scenes entertainment is in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship as part of the One Truck family. Look at Antonio there, monstering the curbs as he goes through Ascari. And then hard on the brakes into Portago. Nice and tidy down the inside. They don't hit the curb on the inside there, actually, because it really unsettles the truck. They can use all the curb on the exit because it helps sort of pivot the left-hand side of the machine in. Rene there, hard on the brakes in as nice a straight line as possible. Late apex through Bugatti and then back up the very steep hill. There's the view of Antonio making his way around the corner. You can hear they hold that same gear all the way up the hill and hard onto the brakes. In towards Monza, double apex right-hander, final corner there at Tunnel. And across the line they go. First lap comes in and it is Norbert Kish setting a 156.5. 0.8 of a second quicker than Sascha Lenz, who goes quicker than Jochen Hahn. René Reinert then goes third. He's quicker than Jochen. What about Antonio Albacete? He crosses the line and goes fifth fastest. He's only 0.03 of a second off of Jochen Hahn. Looks like Jose Eduardo wants to carry on a fast lap here. I hope that René doesn't hinder him and get in the way. I'm not sure if Antonio crossed the line before the checkered flag, you know. I think all of them did. Is Jose Eduardo able to carry on at full chat? I think so. I think Antonio wants to continue at full speed as well, and René might be in the way there. Antonio, you can see, is looking down the inside, but I think he might have had the lap ruined. Don't think necessarily that René did anything wrong, but Antonio wasn't able to take that corner at full speed there. I don't know if he backed out beforehand, but it looked to me like Jose Eduardo was carrying on. There's only 8 thousandths of a second between Albacete and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Sascha Lenz is carrying on as well. He's second fastest though, so he'll be happy with that. You can hear the tyres hop, skip and jumping over the very rough surface here at Jarama. Screams his way down the hill. Then into Bugatti once again. Lovely little short shift there and a chirp from the wastegate of the turbocharger. Makes his way now into Monza. And I'm not sure if he's now backed out of that lap or not. I think he's pushing. Not quite sure. Like I say, it's always deceiving. And he has slowed down, but he will still cross the line. Will Sascha Lenz? He still collects the checkered flag. But he completes the session, by the look of it, in second place. I don't think anybody else has pushed on for a faster lap time. Everyone else, I imagine, will come into the pits, and it will be a full lockout of every position, every pole position for Norbert Kish in 2025. Congratulations to Norby and Revace Racing for another fantastic milestone. Sascha Lenz will start on the front row of the grid once again for the second week running as well. René Reinert starting from third position. Jochen Hahn only able to secure fourth place in that one. Antonio Albacete will line up alongside Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. There was, of course, one Titan driver missing from that session, and that was Steffi Halm, and she is with Lena.
Yes, there she is, and this was quite a qualifying. Did you take it slow, or is something going on with the truck?
No, I didn't take it slow. We make a big change from yesterday to today, and it feels better. We were faster than yesterday, but also the others went a little bit quicker. So I did a second lap in Q2, but I was not able to make a faster lap, so we were out. But you know, you will score the points in the race, so we will try to push there and maybe make some places.
You're very good in pushing and in defending, so I'm really looking forward to this race to come, because it will get closer between you and Sascha, but the fingers are crossed, and so far you're still in third position. If you collect more points, it might be a safer.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about collecting points as much as possible. So first of all, you have to finish the race, and then maybe as front as possible, as much as front. Yeah, so yeah, we will keep pushing. We will discuss later what we will do for the race, and then we will see.
All right, thank you so much. And someone who's also collecting points is Mark Taylor, and he's with Christina right now.
Yeah, the battle of the Chrome class, currently ranked third, Mark Taylor, and the qualifying ending on P9. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means good for us for today. It's a better start than yesterday. They're okay, but when we got knocked off, it brought the team down. So at least it's an up feeling for everybody and know what we can battle for today.
This track is legendary, spectacular. Last year you said you've been dealing better with it. What does that track, challenge you?
Yeah, it's a good track. It's a track on its own with the up and down and the cambers and how rough it is. I do like the track. Last year I had a really good weekend here. This year it's sort of getting there again, but yeah, it's a good place to be.
It's John and Bradley Smith then on 12th and 13th, so they should be far behind you, or are you dealing with them still?
I'm not sure. You just got to see how it plays out in the first corner. The first corner, anything can happen, so you're not clear till you get round.
And yesterday it ended up for us spectators all up in the dust. Of course, the track is absolutely dusty on the side. There's no grass left, no grass roots. They're taken out either. What does that mean to you? Do you put wind sheets on, or what do you do then in this situation when the dust comes up?
Yeah, the dust comes up. It is, you don't see much, but you know where the track is and you roughly know where the truck is in front on you. So everybody's plays fair, so you don't have to worry about anybody being in the way or anything.
What would be the best outcome for you after this weekend?
Best outcome would be getting as many points as I can. So the championship is tight still at the minute. There's still a good chance. So it's whoever it is till checker flag comes down. So.
You should be on the podium, or we will see on which position?
Hopefully first, but like I say, you don't know what's going to happen in the race.
But we're going to talk about what happened at qualifying. Chester Record, our English commentator. Please welcome.
Thank you very much, Christina. We'll now take a look at the results of qualifying here today on Sunday, the final qualifying session of the season, and it is Norbert Kish taking pole position, a 1:56.591 for him, ahead of Sasha Lenz, who will start on the front row for the second week running. René Reinert will have third place on the grid ahead of Jochen Hahn, with Antonio Albacete alongside Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on row 3. Steffi Halm will start alongside almost identical truck of Lucas Hahn. Then Mark Taylor and Clemens Hecker will do battle from the 5th row of the grid. Behind them, Jonathan Andre lines up alongside Bradley Smith, with John Newell in 13th place and Stefan Fass in 14th. John will be quite pleased that Bradley and Mark and Clemens aren't too many places ahead of him on the grid. Next up, we'll have Luke Garrett alongside his compatriot Craig Reed. Stefan Kirsch and Simon Reed will complete the grid of our 18 trucks that we hope to see out on track a little bit later on this afternoon. That is unfortunately all we've got time for here today with qualifying, the final qualifying session of the season. But we'll be back very soon. 1:20 local time here in Spain. We'll be back for race number 3 of the weekend. It's bound to be an absolute corker, and we will catch you then. Have a good one.